Salve! Let's learn about the indirect command in Latin. I'm begging you to learn this. Quick review of commands in Latin. We know the imperative mood is used to give a command. The singular is the same as the present stem. Take the infinitive, drop the RE. The plural command is the third person singular present active indicative plus the letter E. For our pattern verbs, para, parate, mone, moneta, regge, reggite, audi, audite. Then we had a few slightly irregular imperatives like deek, duke, fac, fair, lack the E that should be there, deekita, dukita, facita, ferte. Here's a little tiny quotation from Book 4 of Virgil's Aeneid. E sequiritaliam ventis. Can you figure out what this little quotation says? The second word sequere means follow. A few more ways to give a command in Latin that we've learned very recently are the hortatory subjunctive, like gaudeamus igitur, the volative subjunctive, like studeas, and the gessive subjunctive, like the verb imprimatur. Do you remember what each of these means? Gaudeamus igitur, therefore let us rejoice, where you encourage people to rejoice with you. Studeas, you should study. It's a little nicer than saying study. And imprimatur, let it be printed. You might be able to think of other examples of these verbs, so why not write a few down in your notebook to share in class? In Chapter 35, we are going to see sentences that have indirect commands in them. And let's see if you can figure out what is going on. Magistra discipulis imperat ut sedeant et taceant. Magistra maximeo rogat ut tabulam sibi ferat. Magistra Paulio imperavit ne martemum vexaret. We'll be developing a formula in class, but if you can figure it out ahead of time, our class will move faster. We're going to be learning or reviewing some verbs that may introduce indirect command. Generally, we're looking at categories of verbs of ordering, asking, persuading, begging, pleading. And I think we've seen most of these verbs before, and there may be other verbs that are not on this list that may introduce indirect commands. Impero, first conjugation, I order, plus the dative. Rogo, also first conjugation. Persuadeo, second conjugation. Oro, first conjugation. Peto, third conjugation. Make sure you can give the dictionary entry for each of these verbs. Do you remember the verb eubeo, eubeire, eusi, eusum, I order? This is a verb of ordering, but it is usually followed by an accusative and an infinitive. Mater filiam usit in casa manere. The verb veto, one of our chapter vocab words, veto, vetare, vetui, vetitum, is noticeable because its third and fourth principal parts are slightly irregular in the first conjugation, where we normally have we atum in the third and fourth principal parts. But it also will take an accusative and an infinitive. Veto, think of it in English as a veto. So if you can figure it out, write the formula down for an indirect command. We will check them in class. Here is one more excerpt from a famous speech given by the great lawyer Marcus Tullius Cicero, in which he uses an indirect command right at the very beginning of the speech. Quaeso a vobis, ut in hac causa mihi datus hanc veniam. And the vobis in this quotation are judices. See if you can guess what is happening here. Wale.